¿Qué es la que hay, mi gente? Welcome to Virtual Math Masters. I'm your favorite host, Master Cruz, and today we're going to talk about isosceles triangles and triangle congruency. So let's talk about isosceles triangles first. Isosceles triangles are triangles that have two sides that are the same. So if you look at example one, I have one side measured 7, the other side measures 7. So this is isosceles. And the third side measures 10, which is something else. They want me to find x. Well, I know that the sum of all angles inside of the triangle it equals 180 by the angle sum theorem, right? The triangle. So basically what that means is if I were to label this angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3, then angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 will equal 180 degrees. Now they gave me angle 1, angle 2, right? In this case, angle 2 is 88 degrees, so I'm going to substitute angle 2 for 88. They also gave me angle 1. Angle 1 is x. So this is x plus. Now, usually they have to give me two angles in order for me to find out the third one. This time they only gave me one angle. So how can I find out the other? Well, the trick here is that in an isosceles triangle, when the two sides are the same, well, these two angles that form that side, if you would say, they're also the same. And when I say that form that side, is that if I extend this angle very big, okay, that's the measurement of 7, okay, so that angle is x. And if I extend the other angle, angle 3, the other way, then 7 stays also inside of that angle, okay? So those angles are actually congruent. So by definition, this angle, angle 3, is the same as angle 1 because this is an isosceles triangle. So therefore, I could say plus x equals 180. So whatever this angle is as well, they're congruent. And at this point, I could just combine like terms, right? So x plus x is 2x, 2x plus 88 equals 180. I will subtract 88 from both sides because this is a two-step equation. This will cancel. And I'm going to get that 2x equals 188 minus 80. Sorry, 180 minus 88 will give me 92. This is 92. And the last step will be to divide both sides by 2. And that will give me that x equals 46. So in this case, x equals 46, which means that the answer to my question is 46. Angle 1 is 46 and angle 3 is 46. If I add them all, and I should get 180. Now, if you don't want to write the equation and you can do this in your head, you can also do that, right? As long as you write some things. For example, I know that the sum is 180. So if I do on the side 180 minus the angle that I know, which is 88, that will give me back my 92. And then because I know I have to distribute 92 degrees equally into these two, all I have to do is divide this by 2, right? I divide that by 2, and I get my 46 again. So there's two different ways that you could do it. This one, if you could do it intuitively, just by looking, if you're a visual person, that will probably help a lot. And if you're not a visual person, then write the equation at all angles, set them equal to 180, and use algebra to solve for x. Now, let's talk about triangle congruencies so that you could identify triangles that are congruent. We want to know if a triangle, if we have enough information to identify congruencies so that we could find angles and sides. Remember, if a triangle is congruent, it means that every side and every angle is the same, but we don't know until we check. So the first congruency that we want to talk about is side, side, side. Okay, so side, side, side are triangles that have equal side lengths everywhere. So if this is 3, this is 3. If this is 4, this is 4. If this is side is 5, then this side is 5. The question is, if all the sides are congruent, Does that mean that all the angles inside are also congruent? And the answer is yes. Side, side, side is a triangle congruency. If all these are the same, then this must be a 90-degree angle. Over here, this has to be a 90-degree angle. Actually, that's a special Pythagorean theorem triple. And this angle must be equal to that angle. And these two angles must be equal to these two angles. All that because of the side, side, side angles. I give, and actually, I'm not going to put that in red. I'm going to put that in green so that you understand that red was given information. Green is information that we learn after we know that this is side, side, side. If they're side, 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 that means all the angles inside are also congruent. Now let's look at angle, side, angle. I don't know if you've ever heard la canción que dice, mata la cucaracha, sa, que te come la camisa, sa. All right, so this is a congruency. Asa, all right, so ASA, which is angle, side, angle, is a congruency. How can you tell that you have an angle, side, angle? Well, as you move along from one side to the other in the triangle, you're going to find information in the triangle. So if I start here on the top, right, I'm starting here on the top, and I move to the side, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. So as I move along, I'm going to move along the side of the triangle. There's nothing here. But when I get to this angle, right, I found out that I know the angle. So this is angle. And then as I keep moving that way, I find a side, okay? And then as I keep moving that way, I find another angle. And they're both together. They're together. I know an angle, I know a side, and I know an angle. Okay, when I'm looking at this triangle, I'm going to start from the same place. I'm going to start from the same place. I don't know that angle. I don't know that side. But when I get here, I know that angle. Okay, I'm going to keep moving that way. I'm going to keep moving that way. And I know a side right here. I know a side. And if I keep moving that way, it looks like I know another angle. So if I go in the same direction, I'm going to have angle, side, angle. And as I move here, I find an angle, a side, and an angle. I'm not skipping vertices. I'm not skipping sides. I'm moving along. Because I know an angle, a side, and an angle, that's angle, side, angle. That means that the entire triangle is congruent. I don't know what the other measurements are, but I know for sure that this is congruent to the first one. And the second one is congruent to the second one. Notice that this was the first one that I went through. The first one that I went through are congruent. I have to go in the same order, okay? And then the second one that I'm going to go to, the second one that I'm going to go to is also congruent to each other. And of course, the top of the triangle where I started, this angle is congruent to that angle. So remember, red was given information, angle, side, angle. Green is the ones that we conclude. So once you have angle, side, angle, the entire triangle is congruent. The same thing could be made, or same argument could be made for side, angle, side. So if I'm moving along the triangle and I find a side, and I keep moving along the same way and I find an angle, and I keep moving along the same way and I find another angle and another side, sorry, and I should put this double because this is a different one, right? Put this double, then these two are exactly the same. So these are congruent triangles. Angle, angle, side is also a congruent triangle. So if I move along a triangle and I find an angle, and then right next to it, the next side, and right next to it, the next angle, it doesn't matter which direction I go, I find an angle, a side, and an angle, then the entire triangle is congruent. It's important to notice that if you have angle, 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 there's not enough information. There's no enough information to know. Not enough information to know. So if I give you something like this and I say, hey, by the way, these equals, they're all the same. They're all the same. And I duplicate this and I give you two of them, then no, we don't know if they're congruent or not, because I could have the same angles, but have a bigger triangle, right? And they still have the same angles, but it's a bigger triangle. So angle, angle, angle is not enough. There's not enough information. Also, angle, side, side not a congruency, or backwards, right? Side, side, angle, but angle, side, side is not a congruency because there's no as in math, all right? The last type of congruency is that congruent parts of triangle are congruent, okay? So it's very important to understand that congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. I'm missing a C over here. So congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. This is important to know. I'm gonna write it down. Please write it down. Congruent parts. Congruent parts. Okay. Of congruent triangles. Of congruent triangles are congruent. What that means is that if I already know that two triangles are congruent, then all the parts, that means that all the sides or all the angles are the same. They're all congruent, they're all equal, okay? So those are all the triangle congruencies that you can have. Make sure that you complete all your assignments, and good luck. I hope that this helped. If you need additional help, please visit virtualmathmasters.com and book your free tutoring session today so that I can help you one-on-one. My name is Master Cruz with eCruz Learning, and it's just that easy.